Welcome back to the Move It Fix. Let's take a look at closed chain hip circles. A couple weeks ago I did a video on open chain hip circles, which is where you're essentially laying on your back, your pelvis and your spine are fixed to the ground, and then your leg is moving in space and time while your pelvis is stationary. So that would be considered open chain in that case. But when we actually use our hips, a lot of times, if we're running, we're either not on the ground or we have one leg on the ground. So we're either double leg, essentially open chain, or one leg closed chain. And we need to have both control of the open and the closed chain. So this video I'll show you how can we do that, looking at all the different ranges of motion that the hip can go through. Because we don't just always want to go through the same range of motion in the same way in every joint. We need to be able to control it in all the different positions that it's capable of. So if that's limited by mobility, we have to work on that. But if that's limited by strength and control, then we have to do it loaded. So here's how I'm going to do this closed chain hip circle. If I start essentially doing a single leg deadlift, so if I were to go from there to here, we would call that a single-legged deadlift. If I were to go to some depth in the single-legged deadlift, put my arms out or kind of put my hands across my chest, and then turn open as far as I can, and then close back down, that would essentially be called a hip airplane, or there's probably some yoga pose that is also called. But if we combine those, we can essentially go through all the different combinations of movements that we can do here. So what I'll do is go down as far as I can control. Now that's a key component to this. Don't go do this drill to a range where you can't control it and you have to fall every time. The idea is you go through the range where you can actually accomplish it without falling. So now that I said that, I'll do my best to not fall. So I'll go down here as far as I can. I'll turn open. Again, arm placement is just whatever your preference is. Now instead of turning back closed, I'll stay open, and then from there, I'll come up and then reset. So I'd go down here, turn open, come up. So you see how that's a circle. So that would be one direction, and then I'd go the other direction. So turn, lower. This one's, for me, more challenging. Once I get to a depth that I feel like, okay, I can still control it, then I'll close and then come back up. So open, lower down, close, and then back up. So that's a closed chain hip circle. I don't know how many reps you're going to be able to do. Maybe you can do 1, maybe you can do 3, maybe you can do 5 each direction. But what I want is to go both ways with both legs, and I want to be able to do it without having to fall or touch. So that may mean you have to hold on to a support or be close to something, so you can use it as almost like a training wheels. Or you might have to make the range of motion smaller at first to build some strength, to build some proprioception, balance, etc., so that you can do this. So broad implications for training your hip to be able to be controlled in all these different positions. So it is something I would include in a warm-up. I frequently add these into the warm-up. After I've done some rolling out or stretching, then I'll do this as a way to get the muscles prepared and prime my nervous system, etc., for whatever lift I'm going to be doing. So that's closed chain hip circles. Give it a shot. I'll see you guys next week.